Lawyers. What's a law that isn't real, that normal people insist exists? In the UK, people often claim that, if an item is listed for sale in a shop, then the shop legally has to sell it to you at that price. This is not true at all, as the shop doesn't have to sell you anything at any price. Often as a gesture of goodwill, shops will honor erroneous prices, but they are under absolutely no obligation to do so. Probate attorney here. I've heard many people ask me when the reading of the will is going to take place. I explain to them that only happens in movies. But one of these days I'm going to have one. And hire a mysterious blonde wearing a veil to sit in the corner quietly. Then I'll tell everyone that she inherits everything. Provided, of course, that she must adopt the decedent's cute but troublemaking 6-year-old child no one knew about. Or she can spend the night in a haunted house. Her choice. That commercial use of a photograph means selling the photograph. Commercial use means that there is an implied endorsement. You can take and sell photos of Eric Clapton all day long. Put that same photo in an advertisement for a certain guitar without a release and you can be sued. My father, who is a lawyer. Policemen cannot lie to you. This is false. They can and they do. Edit. There's so many replies that I cannot even find some of the ones I'd like to respond to, so I want to leave a general note for those who have asked for a reference. Frazier vs. Cupp is the Supreme Court ruling that affirmed the legality of deceptive interrogation tactics in 1969. The ruling is still active. People that think it's illegal to be videotaped in a public space. Sovereign citizen stuff. I feel like enough folks have claimed to be sovereign citizens that it's become normal. But no. Generally you can't declare yourself exempt from the laws in effect where you are. An arrest isn't magically invalidated if the police don't read you your rights on the spot. There could be a whole thread of just misconceptions people have from watching cop TV. In California, it's not illegal to discuss your wages with your co-workers, despite what your boss might say. Edit. I'm a lawyer in California. I assume it's the same in the other 49 states, but don't want to speculate. As a former lawyer, UK, I lost count of the amount of people that thought jaywalking was a crime. Unless it's a road that specifically states no pedestrians or a motorway, no such offense exists here. Edit. To clarify, I'm talking about it not being a crime in the UK. It may well be elsewhere. Australia, USA, Germany and others. Not quite on point. A lot of people don't understand that co-signing a loan means that you are on the hook for the loan as much as the other person. The car gets repoed, and then they are shocked that their wages are getting garnished. Co-signing is not you saying you think your friend is a cool dude who is good for it. You are saying you will pay for it if they don't. And they want you on the hook because they think there is a good chance the main applicant is a deadbeat. Basically, don't cotton crap for anybody. Even though many people think so, there has actually never been a Danish law allowing you to beat up a Swede with a stick if he should walk across the ice on Øresund during winter. But, even though the law has never existed, it doesn't mean it shouldn't. In my country some people believe they can press charges against someone. You can't. You report a crime and the police decide if they are taking it further. It's not up to you whether charges are brought. You may want charges brought, but the police drop the case. Alternatively, you can refuse to press charges and the police can bring a case anyway. It's harder without the victim or witness cooperation, but they still can. You do have a right to civil cases of course, but when people say press charges they believe they can do this via the police. This isn't exactly what you're asking for, but I think it's valuable for people to know. You do not need to wait 24 hours to report someone as missing. In the UK, it's not illegal to park on someone else's driveway. It's classified as trespassing, a civil offense, not criminal, which means the police can't do anything. This particularly surprises people as many think that they have exclusive rights to the parking outside their house as well. You can go 10 over the speed limit, My dad thought this was true as he was new to the country and quickly found out by a speeding ticket that it was not. Edit. I'm now realizing that this may vary from state to state and county to county. For my case, South Florida generally tolerates 10 over, but is still technically illegal. It's a law that exists, but widely misunderstood, is a concept of entrapment. If the police put a bait vehicle in a high crime area, that is not entrapment. If the police are watching a bar known to overserve to see if there are impaired drivers at the end of the night, that is not entrapment. Entrapment only occurs when a gov agent suggests committing a crime that you were not otherwise going to commit. I'm no lawyer, but I don't feel like most of the villains in Scooby-Doo committed any actual crime. I don't think it's against the law to put on a mask and scare some trespassers on your own property. In the UK, that it is illegal to drink under the age of 18. You can buy alcohol with a meal at 16. Beer, wine, cider, and you are not breaking any laws if you give your child some alcohol in the privacy of your own home, and they are over the age of 5. Edit. At 16 you have to be accompanied by an adult, and it is paid for by the adult. Thanks you /Kellisk. If you live together for X period of time, you're automatically legally married. There are different time periods for different purposes, and being common law doesn't always have the same effect as being married. So for example, your employer might give your partner spousal benefits after 1 year, but division of property laws might only apply after 3. And all of this varies from one place to another. Some places don't have division of property laws for common law spouses. For example, no laws against driving barefoot. I'm not driving. I'm traveling. Paralegal. A lot of people think that the law requires you to be a good, decent person. If I'm sitting on a bench and see a blind person about to walk into the path of a bus, it's completely legal for me, in the United States, to remain silent, take my cell phone out, and take a video of his death. It's even legal for me to profit from the video. I'd be a monster for doing it. But there's no law imposing a duty on me to tell this stranger, watch out for that bus. Freedom of speech in my country. That's from watching too many US movies. I'm a law student and definitely self-defense. Even though the law exists, people in my country really think it's broader than it actually is. It's federal law in the US that a plainclothes or undercover police officer has to identify themselves as law enforcement if asked. No, it's not the law, and they can tell you whatever the duck they want. In many countries, escaping from prison is not an offense, because the desire to be free is so inherent to humans that it needs to be respected. This is providing you don't commit another felony while escaping, like killing a guard. Edit. My first award ever. Many thanks. Brothel laws at universities. There are no laws stating that 3 or more women in one house constitutes a brothel. Driving with interior overhead car lights on is not illegal. Edit. Thanks for the gold, kind stranger. My first. That an undercover cop has to tell a target that they are undercover if they are asked. They cannot arrest a husband and wife for the same crime. Not a lawyer, but many people think that black belts in martial arts had to register their hands as deadly weapons. It pains me when people say this. You can tell who's lying their ass off when they say my hands are registered as a deadly weapon, since I'm a black belt in insert martial art here. Freedom of speech and censorship laws do not apply on social media. If your comments or posts get deleted by an administrator, it is not infringing on your rights. Have you been arrested for your statements? Have you been prosecuted for saying something? If the answer is no, then chill out. Edit. Canada. Not a lawyer, but as someone who watches a lot of /r/public freakout videos with people screaming, it's illegal to film me without my permission. I would say that in most cases you don't need someone's permission to film in a public place where there is no expectancy of privacy. If it were a public bathroom, then yeah, that might be a problem. But filming at a park or on the sidewalk is not illegal. There's this great video from Wonder Shozen kinda related to this that cracks me up so much. Not a law, but how people believe the polygraph tells the truth. The polygraph cannot be used as evidence in court. Therefore, not science. Might as well use a Ouija board. Lots of people seem to think that private businesses have to respect your freedom of speech. If the teacher is more than 15 minutes late, you're legally allowed to go home. Not technically a law, but life, liberty and the pursuit of happiness is not in the Constitution. Hear it all the time and it drives me crazy.